friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Chandra and I make videos about reading, writing, and all things books. Today's video is writing inspiration, historical events, and why time period doesn't matter. It's easy to think that videos of historical events from different time periods won't help us when we're writing historical fiction or period pieces, but the truth is that it can be immensely helpful. And here are the reasons why time period doesn't really matter. First thing is, emotions are the same. 2, facial expressions and body language. 3, physical descriptions of locations may not be accurate, but the science is the same. And 4, one situation may be unrelated, but the description can be modified to fit the setting. The first one, as mentioned, is emotions. Although the time period may have changed, the emotional responses people have to trauma are pretty much the same, and joyful reactions are the same, celebrations are the same. All of the useful things when writing are going to be consistent. So if you're just looking for a video of what the phases of emotion people went through, then a good home video can be just as helpful even if you're writing historical fiction. Now, some of the cultural aspects may also have changed, but you can look up videos that contain those kinds of responses, anger, frustration, whatever the case may be, and you can incorporate it into your scene. It doesn't have to be specifically about that thing. Number 2, facial expressions. If you're trying to figure out what someone would look like in a specific situation, then it's not really about the content of the video. You're just trying to see the facial expressions so that you can get better modifiers to describe what it is that you're seeing or what it is that your characters are seeing. You don't need it to be that specific situation, only the emotion. Ultimately, you're just looking for the analysis. There are also channels on YouTube where you can see someone reacting to different situations and picking apart the micro expressions or, whatever facial expressions or mannerism the person is conveying, and you can use that in your story to get more accurate or more specific, especially if you're trying to describe someone being subversive in a situation. When they're trying to cover their emotions or their feelings on a subject, but they're failing, or the character that you are writing may be really good at picking up on the subtext of a situation, even if most other people wouldn't notice. Number 3, the setting. Although the setting may be different in certain aspects depending on the time period, there are some things that would change. Maybe the streets are still cobbled, or maybe the buildings are in the same locations. Just because it's a different time period doesn't mean everything has changed. And the cultural undertones that will influence your story, even if it's in a very different time period, may still be present, and that would be useful for any story. Number 4, although the physical setting may change, the science of things will be the same. So looking for things like fires or explosions, volcanic eruptions, although the time period may be totally different, getting the visual experience can be very helpful for writing, because you can then translate that from one time period to another in order to cover what it is that you're talking about. Now you'll notice that 3 and 4 are very similar. One specifically applies to the cultural aspects. The other applies more so to like physical things that happen. For example, watching a building explode now in modern times would be different than, say, a building exploding from gunpowder. But if you're looking to see what a building explosion looks like, then that's a little bit nuanced and isn't going to necessarily translate in the writing. As long as people know what time period is, then the description of a building exploding is still going to be applicable, and that's all the information you need as a writer. If you're just looking to get a better understanding of what happens or the way that the explosion begins, then just watching a video of that is going to give you a lot of ideas for how to approach the scene. It doesn't necessarily have to be specifically the same time period, but watching different videos from different periods of time and covering the historical aspects can still be applied across different time periods in fiction. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.